All right. Good evening. Good evening. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review where we come to you live, or we're streaming live from Mott Branch Library. So what we're going to do is put on our intro video, so that gives you a chance to like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world, with the exception of 9. That's power right there, if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base, and at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library, and always they roll out the red, black, and green carpet for us. Let's start with some intros. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN and also an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. So shout out to Muhammad's Mosque number 91. We were celebrating the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's 91st birth anniversary this weekend, and we had a day of service. We're going to hit on that a little bit later on. And also, I'm fortunate to be able to start something with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 10 years ago, they had an idea that just ordinary people could speak truth to power. They didn't have to be pastors, preachers, politicians, or professionals. Just have a bullhorn, love in your heart, and something to say, and we can get it popping. What am I wearing today? I have on my brown hat. I've got my brown rim glasses, a tan shirt. I got my beads on today, Jody. So I'm fully equipped for whatever. All right.
Good,
and
good.
As always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter, Injustice or Else. And we have a phenomenal podcast for you today. We're waiting for our green room to fill up. And we've got some in-studio guests.
Yes, we
All
do.
right, you want to know? Well, if you've seen our promotion, we already had our brother in the promo, so we're not going to do the intros now. We're going to let him introduce himself, but we need you to introduce yourself. It looks like you got one extra button on today. I don't know how I would even know that you had an extra one on. If you could introduce yourself. What are you wearing? And then we'll get to our mission statement, guiding principles, and we'll come back with our guests.
Right. What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization, and just very happy to be here. I've seen all of the stuff from social media. I promise I'll respond as soon as I can, but thank you, much love, adoration for my unbleeding pen that just keeps going on and on.
That's
and on.
what's up.
So if you're new to the page and stuff like that, I've noticed an uptick in stuff. Yes, I'm weird. I love being weird. I wouldn't be here without it. And thank you for seeing me. So for the people that's out there, we already know this is a time where you'll be either getting off of work, going to work, picking up kids, doing some other errands and stuff.
That's right.
And we don't want you distracted on your phone. Plus, we also know that we stream on Spotify, so you can't really see our faces. This is the reason why we describe ourselves. So, you know, there's a lot of voices out there. You might want to get a picture to who you're actually talking to.
That's right.
So I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from taking this journey nearly a decade ago, where I took a leap of faith in myself, my pen, my power, and just going anywhere without fear. So the things that you see around me are from people I've met in this life, things I've collected. The story that is across my arms is my journey of everything that I've kind of done, accomplishments and stuff. I did an interview not too long ago where they say, there was a saying that people from Toledo or the mud or Ohio wear their scars on their sleeve. And, you know, I just tried to turn that differently. I put my triumphs, my victories and battles on my sleeves. So, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for each and every single week coming back and enjoying your time with us, because you could be any place in the world.
That's right.
You chose to spend it with us. Two guys that's just kind of giving their opinion on what they actually do in the community. I don't have time to search or watch other people's opinions. I live it. So thank you for living it with us at the moment. We have how do we keep going and doing all this stuff like this?
How does that even happen? It's 10 years. We got to do something special this year too.
Yes.
All right. So
we will. I'm trying to sift through the like 35,000, 40,000 photos I've collected over the past decade, and just gonna, Brother Washington, just gonna wake up with like a massive file.
That's right.
What is this? Oh yeah, you know, last decade of us marching and protesting and doing die-ins and doing theaters and scholarships and all the stuff that makes us ingrained in our community.
That's right.
Not in a sponsor, not in a donation or anything like that. We built us, and we want to teach people how to help build themselves and their community. We have a foundation and
our guiding principles
that keep us together. So 10 years from now, if you don't see me or Brother Washington, you might see somebody else in this chair doing the same thing or out in the community, because that is the purpose that we built this upon.
And I got to shout out Sister Yvette Muhammad. She was just in the chat. And we're going to do the mission statement, but 10 years ago, Jody, it was myself and her, and I'm thinking to myself, we got to have a mission statement because we've got a lot of people involved in this. And if we don't have a mission statement, somebody else is going to make one for us.
Yep.
And Sister Yvette sat down. I talked about some of the things that I thought about CSRN, and she put it in the best language. So shout out to Sister Yvette Muhammad for helping to craft the mission statement.
Mhm.
All right. A little, and we're doing our 10-year, what did we call it? It was our 4-year anniversary of the Toledo Police Accountability Rally.
Yes.
So
May Day.
we're
all of that stuff.
celebrating.
I still got to send you those.
We're
photos.
celebrating May Day. All right. We're celebrating May Day. And were it not for Sister Yvette Muhammad, we would not have a mission statement like that. So just some CSRN history for anybody that's looking or watching. Hey, let's get it.
All righty. So again, if you're trying to build something right now, we know the world is chaotic. We know there are so many sponsorships and blue checks and things that tell you can make money just sitting at home and doing nothing. It's not real. But this is kind of how you get to that point. You find a hill to die on, to sit on, to make sure that you won't be distracted by all the new complications of life. So we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, a unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures that hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right, Jody, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a hard shift to our guiding principles. And I think I saw Julian in the chat. He needs the link. I'm like, yeah, we sent him. I'm
just got to get him on in there. Hopefully he's got some good sound today.
It looks like we sent it. Well, hey, Julian, I sent it to your messenger. Whatever this new email address is, it came back saying, hey, look, nobody lives there. Yeah.
Well, while we're getting all the technical and stuff out and everything, we hope you're having a wonderful day here in Ohio. You got to see the Aurora Borealis. It was, or Northern Lights is it's easier to say. Hopefully you got some good pictures. It's been a good week for you. Keep going. It is the beginning of the week. So as we get all of our technical tech stuff out the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you got any questions, also leave them in the comments. We enjoy responding. It's not just today. We do go back when we have time and check and respond and stuff like that for our guests coming up. If you want to ask them questions directly on the show, we are live.
That's right.
Edited it is.
That's right.
You know, when we have moments of stuff, I learned something very interesting when I first started in DJing and radio from the Cast Off Show. Shout out to Prophet and Frank Wright and Tiffany and HD and everything back then, that you don't leave dead space. So, you know, we're not trying not to leave dead space before we hit this.
And he did good with that. And our guiding principles is that thing that keeps us all together. Now, organizing grassroots, especially with CSRN, any one of us could easily do this by ourselves. All right, so we're almost like the Avengers of social justice. All of us we were doing it anyway, but
We had that the whole team when Black Panther came out.
Right.
Social justice.
We found a way to organize together, but in order to do that, we have to have something in place so that we don't implode. These are our CSRN guiding principles: all Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, Black elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving and surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in everything that we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own stories and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
Well, while we were doing all of that, we were trying to send Julian the link. If not, what we're going to do, we're going to maybe come back with our special guest today.
Yep, in-house studio.
Man, we talked last week about the impact that May Day 2020 had not only on us, but also the protests, movements, and the culture that comes along with this. And one of the things that I always say is that on that day, we had those of us that wanted to make a difference.
Yep.
All right.
And those of us that wanted to make a buck. I'm shutting up.
I'm doing my thing. I mean, it's true. All right. That's true. And those people were eventually exposed anyway. All right. Yep. You get what you get. There were people there that were interested in doing something for themselves. So out of the Toledo Police Accountability Rally, you had a lot of other organizations that formed.
Yep.
All right. Some of them are still around, some are not, and some evolved into other things. And also you had people that were there to push the envelope further.
Right.
So we had said, hey,
antagonizers and instigators that did not live here. They're not, well, I mean, they live somewhere, but they during that movement and stuff, there would be people specifically targeting protesters and peaceful people that would come with bottles of water or rocks or something to antagonize the police in that moment. And then they disappeared. They came through towns and they broke windows. And that's a big story that kind of got forgotten about. That is not, I don't know. It's a different world now.
Right. Right. And there's a lot of things that we learned from that, and mad respect for everybody that's been down with us from day one, from 2014 to now. Hey, what we're going to do, we're going to get into a short commercial. We're going to come back with our special guest.
I get to do my disappearing act.
Well, all right. Yeah. Soon I'm going to make a disappearing act too. But hey, hang tight. We'll be right back. This is the CSRN podcast. our weekend review.
So last year was hard. A curveball nobody saw coming was something terrifying and heartbreaking seemingly every day coming out of left field. Isolation, frustration, loss. A city in suspension, a ballpark made empty, and the roaring of cheers lived as only echoes on the wind. You know, someone once said, oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. For there was no joy in Mudville. Well, we come from and work from the mud. Took that dirt and sand, melted down and built the glass. Even if we lose everything, we know how to make something special out of nothing. That is the heart of this place, this city, this people, this team. There's a beauty in the contradiction. That is why we cheer when rounding the diamond. That is why we cheer when waved home. After a year of silence, we are being waved home. That is the sound of joy after the storm fades. The lightning in the pitch, the thunder crack in the bat. The joy in Hinsville is back. Welcome home, Toledo.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live every week to talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we got that's going on right now, which is a really great honor. One of our comrades just received, and some of the things that we got coming up in the future. I know you see a new co-host right next to me. We're going to get to this brother in a second, but right now we've got Julian Mack in the green room. See him I just saw him in the green room, but then, okay, he's back. Hey, let's bring him on in the chat, see what's going on with Julian. Hey, what's going on, Julian?
What's up, Brother Washington? How you doing?
All right. Hey, listen, we missed you last week. Some of the people asked, well, where was Julian? Well, he could take a day off if he wants. So hey, you sound good. All right, and you're looking good too. And for the new audience members, if you could introduce yourself, what are you wearing and what are we talking about today?
Yeah, my name is Julian Mack, and I am the Inward the Revolutionary. I like to describe myself as a revolutionary warrior of love and light. And that's what I mean by that is that's who I am in the spirit. And really the whole concept for the Inward Revolutionary is that any revolution, to manifest any revolution that's going to happen on the outside of us, it must first start within. Right. And so as I grow, I began to realize that like this is something worth sharing. where I got the concept of the inward revolutionary.
All right. It looks like we're having just a little bit of buffering, but we're going to hang in there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I know what I need to
Right.
do.
Yeah, it looks like we're having a little bit of buffering, but we're going to hang with it. And right after we're done with you, we're going to introduce our special guest. But we're going to try to get through this.
Okay. All right. Give it a second.
All right. Looks like we were having some technical difficulties with our brother Julian Mack. Last week, Jody, we said, hey, look, we're going to, well, it is what it is. Hey, family, what we're going to do right now, we're going to shift to our special guest. And as always, our CSRN tradition is we always ask our guests, who are you? What are you wearing? What are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about, I'm Mr. Carl A. Polk, and we're talking about my book, Organized Crime in the Workplace. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
That's right.
And I have on brown shoes, brown pants, bronze pants, a striped white and blue shirt, and my brand, Organized Crime in the Workplace.
All right.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
That's right. And hopefully later we're going to show a picture of the book, where you can get it. And Kingston already said, don't forget to put the link to the YouTube. All right. All right. So tell us about what inspired you to write this book, Carl.
What inspired me to write this book is God Almighty. And it is time to expose the injustice that's being done to the workers and the lower economic people in the world. So God told me to do this, and I asked God at the same time to take the fear out of my heart.
Well, you've got a terrific title, Organized Crime in the Workplace. Carl, how did you come up with that title?
Well, how I came up with the title was, it was organized crime in the workplace.
Okay. All right.
And then I was talking to a buddy of mine named Mr. Mike, and he was saying something about, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And I could not remember what he said, but it sounds so good. I called him back up 2 weeks later. I said, Mike, what did you say? And he said, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And I asked him, I said, Mike, could I use that? He said, yeah. I said, it's not a title of a book or anything. He said, no.
Right.
So I took that and put it with the my brand, and became a great brand.
All right. So what were some of the things that you seen in the workplace that you can share that made you want to write a book? Most of us would I'll just go online and make a post, or I'll talk in private to my friends. What was it that you saw in the workplace that you could share that made you want to write the book?
Well, I was paying union dues, and I found out that the union was in collusion with the employer. No matter how hard I fought, they was in collusion, so there was no win. I found out that the union would come and ask me questions on what was going on. And once I gave them the answer, they would answer to the and use that answer to try to chop my neck off, so I would be unemployed. So I realized that, and I always had a backup because I studied the Bible.
Yes, sir.
I understood very well how to play my hands with them after that incident happened.
All right. So after knowing what you know, was there any repercussions for speaking up or anything like that for you in the workplace?
Yes, sir. It's always going to be that repercussion.
Yes, sir.
But you have to, for me, I'm speaking up for the next generation. I'm speaking up for my sons and my grandkids and my cousins and my nieces and your grandkids and everyone, right, the generation behind, because we have to deserve, we know that we need reparation. So the only way to make it in this society with the highfalutin people in high places is to get reparation to equal the playing field.
Right.
But they do not want to give it to us. So we have to pray that the highfalutin white man will not give it to you, but you have to pray to God that God would move their hand.
Yes, sir.
And we'll get it.
That's what I'm talking about. That I want to bring up the title. I think that we put it into the computer here. Let's see it. All right, family. We stream grabbed this from Amazon. All right, you can find this book on Amazon, Organized Crime in the Workplace. If you're not at the table, why would Jody put the our logo right there? Matter of fact, family, I always blame everything on Jody. All right. It says Organized Crime in the Workplace. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Carl, how true is that? If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. How true is that?
That's very true. I can put it this way. Any form of special privilege, that was same thing was used in slavery, special privilege. Any form of special privilege is a form of slavery. And today we have that even in the workforce. We have that in the presidency office.
That's right.
In government. We have all that. Special privilege is spreading, and we have to stop that.
I'm going to I want to put on the screen the YouTube, but I just want to read out. They gave kind of a summary about the book. Can I read this on?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read this on air, family. And then if you like CSRN, if you like what we do, we want you to go out and get this book and educate yourself. For my friends that work in the factories, all right, this is a book that you need, because this is going on right now. When you think that they're negotiating for you, they're negotiating against you. All right. I'm glad I love you for this, brother. All right.
Oh, thank you. I love you for this too.
All right. Look, here's what it says. This book is about the people who really want a change. It's bigger than wrong. It will teach us how to change to make an improvement in America and globally. It is a how-to-do book on demonstrating your do's and don'ts and how-tos. I never heard the do's and don'ts and the how-tos. Thanks for adding that to it. All right, that gives me something to do. It says this writing will help you understand the oppressed people. That's us, all right? It will also inform you and the people in power and authority on how to better treat and understand the underprivileged. That's us too, all right? Most entities outside the workplace, such as unions, labor relations, lawyers, prosecutors, judges, and the like, are the greatest purveyors of gangsters. Family, let me read this again, and then we're going to go back to our regular scheduled program. It says most entities outside of the workplace, such as unions, labor relations, lawyers, prosecutors, judges, and the like, are the greatest purveyors of gangsters. They will take you down to the river and drown you if you don't know how to swim. These groups corral together so the less fortunate could get a bad shake at being treated fair. And family, you can go to Proverbs chapter 19, verse 17. We don't normally break this down, but we're breaking this down today. And this is what it says. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. If you're not trying to change the corruption, then you are part of the corruption, and corruption is being promoted. And I know firsthand it is in America. The news has brought it out globally due to the killing of Black folks by white cops. Brother, you are after our heart here at CSRN. Brother, this stands true. All right, this stands true that it's happening. It's happening everywhere, and it has to be exposed, brother. All right. another question for you. And you can find this book on Amazon. Let's put the YouTube also. We want to make sure we get this right. Let's find the YouTube. Kingston just gave it to me. We're going to try to find this. Family, if you like CSRN, we want you to go out and get this book, Organized Crime. We want you to go to the YouTube. Let's find the YouTube right here. Oh, yeah. Okay. It says, you deserve, you're worth it, 4655. So just put that in your search, and you can, and Carl Polk, the author, is right here. Get that book, go on their YouTube, like the page, subscribe to the page, get the notifications, but more so, get the book. One of my last questions for you, Carl. What do you do for self-care? That's part of our guiding principles. What do you do to relax? All right.
My favorite thing is to read the Bible, study current event, and try to live the right way. That's basically what I do. I would like, if you don't mind, I would like to add one thing.
Oh, let's do it.
You know, in 1994, Biden passed a crime law bill who locked the mass majority of our black men up. And
That's
today
right.
he says he's sorry, but they're still locked up. And he said in a black caucus meeting that black people were doomed.
Yeah.
If they don't hook up with the Hispanics, they will be doomed. So they're looking for us to be out of here. They also said it's reported that 1 out of every 17 white boys is expected to go to prison. And 1 out of every 5 Hispanics is expected to go to prison.
Facts.
But when they get down to black boys, they say 1 out of every 3 black boys is expected to go to prison. Now, how in the world could they say expected to go to prison? Not already in there, but expected to go to prison. We, as black people, have to really look out and come collectively and ask for reparations so that we'll be looking out for our generation of boys that's coming ahead and our girls. We have to. And our girls will not respect us. They're not showing respect to us because we don't stand out there and fight. We don't go out there and put our black fists out there like they did back in the day. So we have to put ourselves out there to fight for these youth and make sure that they go on the right path.
All right. Now, I also want to give a shout out to the brother that's in our studio, Kingston. We've got your son here, and brother, I want to thank you, Kingston. Well, you can't see him. Jody, we need to get another camera and some more mics. All right. We're going to try, since Jody is the treasurer, we're going to have him to shake out the change purse. All right. Okay. All right. So we want to thank, big shout out to Kingston for being in the studio, making sure that we loaded the YouTube in, make sure we had everything set up. What kind of took Jody's job today. Hey, Carl, would you mind coming back at another time?
Yes, sir. I would love to come back.
And processing the book. And you said you got some more books on order.
Right.
And Jody, we are getting CSRN will be purchasing the Organized Crime book. If you're not at the table, you're at the menu. And maybe Jody, I'm speaking for Jody. I really shouldn't do this, but hey, I haven't stopped before. Let's see if we can get a couple of copies. And during the podcast, we might say, hey, listen, the first person that comes down to Mott Branch Library, we have a special gift from our brother Carl Polk, Organized Crime, and make this make it a family affair. All right. So you don't mind coming back?
No, sir.
All right. We'll process some of the chapters of the book.
Yes, sir.
I've got Julian in the green room. I think that he's got everything together because he's looking good. All right. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Have you ever dreamed of showing the world who you are, showing what you can do? Can you act? Can you dance? Do you have talent? If you do, then come on and get fame. Express yourself where dreams become reality at Fame Studios.
The environment here consists of children and teens that are all ages and all diverse. We offer dance, modeling, acting, and even fitness. We provide daily, weekly, and monthly lessons. Fame Studios is a semi-professional platform with many well-trained instructors.
Ever dreamed of showing the world who you are?
Welcome to Fame Studios.
Get fame today.
Great job, ladies. You can contact us today at 419-699-6769. Hope to see you at Fame Studios.
Canal.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. Met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. I know you're asking, where's Jody? Well, he'll be back in a minute. I told him that we were taking a 5-minute break, but I didn't know that the commercial only ran for two minutes. Well, it is what it is. Hey, listen, we had some technical difficulty with our brother Julian Mack, the N-word revolutionary. He's back in the green room. Let's bring him on in and see what's up. All right, what's going on, Julian? How you feeling, brother?
All right. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. And let me let you know, I have a backup camera ready to go. If anything sounds off, just let me know.
Okay.
How we sounded?
Well, you sound good. We got a little buffering on the video, but let's roll with it. We're still going to try to roll with it.
Okay, there we go. How's that?
All right. Now we're in. Now we're
You
looking
better?
good. Much better.
Okay,
Much
cool,
better.
cool. All right. What's up, y'all? My name is Julian Mack. I am the N-word revolutionary. and I am a revolutionary warrior of love and light. This whole, I've served as spokesman for the Community Solidarity Response Network,
That's right.
amongst other things. But what I'm really focused on, and what I think is fascinating right now, is the inward journey. Right?
Okay.
The inward journey. And so each week I try to bring different books that have to do with psychology, that help identify ways that we can have our revolution from the inward, from the inside out.
Yeah, we're still here.
I thought you were going to say something there.
No. That's the first time I ever heard you stop and let somebody speak. But anyway, it is what it is. Jody taught me that joke.
All right. So today, what I'm bringing up is the 17 stages of Joseph Campbell's monomyth. And if you give me just a second, I've got this sound in my ear. I've got to get rid of.
It could be having that other video going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're coming up on that. Yeah. So what was it that you wanted to process today?
Yeah, so what this is the it's called the monomyth. It's written by Joseph Campbell, who wrote the book entitled Hero of a Thousand Faces. And what's really interesting about this book is that, what I'm really learning from it is that no matter when the time is or where the time is, human beings, there's a subconscious, the story of the hero is subconsciously connected to our being. So you can dig up the stories from ancient Africa. You can take the stories from Europe, from South America, from at any given time frame, and there's always a connection to the hero's journey. And so basically the case is made that the hero's journey is a psychological, when we talk about a hero, or it's psychologically projected through our subconscious. And it doesn't matter whether it's the Bible, the Quran, we're talking from Jesus to Buddha to Luke Skywalker. It follows the exact same pattern. And so what I was bringing up today, and what I wanted to bring up today is that monomyth, and to consider the struggles that I may be going through, or that you all may be going through, because it helps give framework to what we're going through, right? So there's 17 parts. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into it. The first is a call to adventure. The hero starts off with a mundane situation of normality, which some information is received that acts as a call into the unknown.
All right.
Right. Then there's the refusal of the call. I don't want it. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do it. Right. Then at some point, our hero gets some type of aid, whether consciously or unconsciously, or guidance. And then that's when our hero crosses the threshold from the the world that they know until the unknown, right? Then that leads to the belly of a whale, which is the final separation into kind of this new world, the new thing that's going on. Once we enter this new world, this initiation, there's always a road of trials, a series of tests that are necessary for one's transformation. And then that's followed by the meeting with the goddess. At this point, our hero may experience love or something significant, a significant change in our hero's life, or a different perspective in our hero's life. That's followed by temptation. We all know about temptation. I'm not even going to go into that. Then there's the atonement with the Father, right? In this step, the person must confront and be initiated by whatever holds the ultimate power in our hero's life. In myths, this is often the father or the father figure. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the person in our hero's life that holds the power of life and death. There's an atonement with the Father, and this is the center point of the journey. Then at some point, something must die, right, or be let go of through our hero's journey in order for them to live in the spirit or have that spiritual growth or get that divine knowledge or new compassion. Then there's the ultimate boon, right? The achievement of the goal of the quest that the person went on the journey to get. All the previous steps prepared our hero for this spot. Then we have the refusal of the return, right? Having gotten comfortable in getting these new sets of skills in this new world, our hero doesn't want to go back home. Our hero's okay where they are. Our hero wants to just stay in this enlightenment and in this new place, which is followed by the magic flight. The hero must escape this refusal of this return. And there's usually something that calls our hero to do that, whether they want to or not. And then there's the rescue from without. The hero needs a powerful guides come to the hero and bring them back to everyday life. This hero's got this new set of skills, and they've now begun to return home, or maybe they're already home. Someone's going to bring that hero back down to earth, right? Then there's the crossing the return threshold, retaining the wisdom that's gained from the quest, and integrating the wisdom into the human day-to-day life, and possibly sharing that wisdom with the rest of the world. This is followed by being a master of two worlds, achieving a balance between the material and the spiritual, the inner and the outward world. And this leads to the final step, which is the freedom to live. Mastery leads to freedom, freedom from the fear of death, which in turn is the freedom to live. This is sometimes referred to as living in the moment, neither anticipating the future nor regretting the past.
All right. I almost feel like I need to be snapping my fingers after you read that. Name that book again, who it's by, and what was it that drew you to it?
Yeah, you know what? I'm having a brain fart right now. What is the name of David Goggins? David Goggins. So I was watching a podcast with David Goggins, who is ex-Navy SEAL. Let's just put it like really tough guy, right? A tough guy.
Reminds me of me. Yeah, I've seen him. Yes,
yeah. I mean, this guy runs and does all these difficult things in life on purpose. And I was he was on the Andrew Huberman podcast, and I watch a lot of podcasts that have to do with mental wellness and all these things, and I kept, it wasn't the first time, but I kept hearing about this book, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was, and I finally wrote. I had to write it down. And it's like, okay, Hero of 1,000 Faces. And I've actually listened to the audio book, but I'm going to buy this book because it is like, we think these heroic stories, right, and they are all unique, but they're part of the human psyche, right? It's something that's always existed in the human psyche. And my point of bringing this to this particular podcast, right, is it's incredibly liberating to understand the road that one might be on.
Okay.
Right. To understand that I'm not just wandering through life, right? And to frame whatever struggle one may be going through somewhere on that 17-part journey, right? In my life and in my mental health journey, right? One thing I say quite often is at some point, it's time to stop being the villain, and we are the authors, and we can be the hero of our own story, right? We are the master of our fate. We are the captains of our soul, right? So what does that look like? And what do I have to reframe within the perspective of my mind in order to walk in that hero's life on a day-to-day basis?
Beautiful.
Right? And that's, this has been an incredible tool to be able to do so.
All right. And you can get that. Is that a book that you can just get on Amazon or anywhere?
It's been out 70 years, right?
Okay.
It's a classic, right? But it's got timeless knowledge, without a doubt, timeless knowledge.
All right. That's beautiful. Hey, Julian, we're going to get into not only our 5 minutes of heat, but also some of the things that we got coming up. We got Bike Rides Matter going on. We're going to take a short break and come back with Jody Summers and some community shout outs and solutions. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Yes, sir. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now, we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage at the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
All right, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We are back. We still got Julian in the green room. Maybe bring him back before we shut it all down. All right. Hey, listen, I wanted to just highlight some of the things that's going on in the community, and then I'm going to toss it over to Jody really, I want to give a shout out again for the American Muslims for Palestine. They're still actively protesting right here in Toledo every Saturday, 3 o'clock at the corners of Sylvania and Talmadge. Join our brothers and sisters, as well as we are united with all of the students that are coming out to protest on the college campuses. We are united with all the students that are protesting on the college campuses. And as we show you before, our brother Carl Polk, his book, you see that on the screen right now, Organized Crime in the Workplace. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. We're going to have our brother come back soon to talk about maybe a segment of the a chapter and what the chapter means to him. All right. And also, what do we also have going on, family? It is that time again. Eden Urban Garden is going to have the opening season. That's going to be this Sunday, 4 p.m., 300 block of Boston Place. It's a community garden in the middle of the block. You'll know the defund the police sign and the Black Lives Matter signs right out front, so you can't miss us. Come on out, join the fun. Get into the soil. It's not dirt. Dirt is that stuff that's on the bottom of your shoe.
Yep.
And right. So we're looking forward to starting the season. Again, we picked up some volunteers during the winter, and come on out and meet us. You might ask, do I need a tool or any? Nope, we got the tools. Just bring some gloves and join in the fun. And lastly, Jody, I got two things that I want to highlight. I know Jody may not want to say this, but on the screen, it says that we would like to organize one of this year's honorees for the African American Festival. To the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union once again did it right by recognizing our brother as one of the honorees this year. And it's a high honor when you're honored by your own. You know, we go places and they pat us on the back or stab us in the back, whatever it is, a little bit of both. Carl talked about that earlier, all right? But it's awesome to be admired, recognized by your own while you're still here.
Yes.
All right.
It is to look like me in great stages. Nobody ever thought I would even touch. You could handle the grips, but never mind.
Right. And look, and let me take this off and often we judge each other by how we look, what we wear, and what we drive. And if someone were to see Jody, they're like, well, he doesn't look like somebody that's a poet. Well, he does that. And they may say, well, he probably can do spoken word, but that's just it. I bet he can't write a book. Well, he's got several books. All right. They said, well, I bet that the only thing that he could do is write poetry and write books. Well, he's also an illustrator. Well, I guess he can only do those 5 things. No, he's also a chef. Well, he's also an elected official. All right. And you're in a higher place this year. You're almost that dude. All right. That we got to check in.
I'm one seat under city council now.
Right. So we got to, family, let's get out of the habit of just because the person doesn't wear a suit, just because the person doesn't take all the bass out of their voice. We do those slave whispering things. That's when we around our own people and we still whisper.
Also an actor. If anybody caught Brucey
right.
that performance,
so mad respect, much love and respect for that. And I don't want to say lastly, but this week we celebrated the 91st birth anniversary of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. 91 years standing for our people. Most times we honor our leaders after they're assassinated or after they're destroyed through gossip and other things. Well, we've got someone still here, still pushing, looking good, not senile, not sleepy on the mic, nobody has to whisper and say, Brother Minister, it's your time. No, it's still sharp, still dropping wisdom from so many generations. So this year, what we do is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wants all of us to go out in the community for active service. So this is not the time to bake him a birthday cake. All right. He doesn't need a birthday cake. He needs us that say that we admire him and follow him to do the work. All right. Because the real work is in the streets. It's not being holed up in the mosque and we're going to be at the mosque for 5 prayers. That's all good. But what are we going to do after we're done praying, Jody? Do we just judge everybody else that's outside the mosque? All right. Are we self-righteous? So mad respect for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And this issue of the Final Call newspaper, pick up that newspaper. It's got a lot of articles in it, not only about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but about other people that are doing some really good stuff in the community all over America, really and all over the world. That's an international newspaper. Jody, it is 7:08. I need to bring you on, and then we need to top some loose ends with Julian. Then hopefully we'll be ready for 5 minutes of heat.
Yep. All righty. So jumping into the past of everything, just in case you missed it, for everybody that says there's nothing to do in Toledo.
Oh, man.
You haven't been outside.
You are wrong. Right.
Like,
we outside.
Everybody's outside. Like every single weekend, there's always multiple things to do on multiple sides of town with different organizations or even some things that are similar. So this is my ability to go back through. I mean, hopefully you made it. If you didn't, I don't make everything, but it's also a way of giving people their flowers for attempting to do something.
That's right.
Running anything, if you're just setting up a lemonade stand, that is difficult because, as you were saying, yes, I'm humble. It's weird because this is approaching year 10 for me independently. Is also something which I might go home and write a poem today, but just the thoughts on that of privacy and being in the spotlight, in a sense, especially because myself, I chose to go forward. See, people not turning their phones off. Forward with my government name. So anytime I walk outside, I'm essentially naked. People know my name. People can go on my social media and track what I'm doing or stuff. This is why it was about 2 months ago, somebody was like, you used to be live all the time and tell us where you're going and when you get there. And that's dumb.
Hey, you was doing that too.
I was doing that. I would go to work and tell you my whole schedule and who I'm with and who I'm around. And you kind of learn. It's great to be open and transparent, but I think I'm a lot more opaque now.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll see where I am the day after, or if I am going there, I don't record live anymore. I'll record and then it'll get uploaded or forgotten or take pictures and stuff. But in the moment, because, I realize I do have a lot of stuff in my little garage, shack, apartment, whatever it is for now until I move next year. That is priceless. I collect art. I travel around the world. I give stuff out to people, although nobody's going to come to the Weilers and knock on my door. I still have to keep that level of privacy and security when I do move. I don't want nobody pulling up to a mansion trying to, never mind. I'm still watching the Kendrick and Drake stuff and seeing just the reality of the world because also I'm an entertainer, which means I support just as much as I ask for support. If you're out here like, hey, play my stuff. Why? Did you ever come to my show? Did you ever support anything I did? Did you even give me advice on where I could get, say you don't like my stuff? Not everybody has to like stuff because I'm not, yes, I'll collab. I get collabs offers all the time, but who I'm looking for is somebody in the audience that doesn't do what I do.
Okay.
Because I have to do all of this, the promotion, everything like that. So me being upset with you and you're in my same genre is wrong. Because I know you're working as hard as I am to try and make yourself that thing. So here's some stuff. I know that was like long.
Yeah, that was like, okay, all right.
Julian.
All right. Let's not talk about Julian. He's still in the green room. All right.
So these are some of the events that went on since our last show. We had the night market at Toledo Botanical Garden. Seen some pictures from there. Hopefully you guys were able to make that out. 4 Woman, 1 Ohio. That was September Bliss Event Studio. Tell Your Untold Stories with Sunkiss, who's been on the show.
Yeah, like her.
The hair show.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. It was our 3rd one of that volume. We might do the smoke out section at some point in time, but it was good. A couple of people came. We all got our moments off of our chest.
All right.
There was the 5K bear run with Twin Oaks West Brewing in northeast Ohio, someplace like that.
Okay.
But
All right,
you know,
Jody.
activities stay
All right.
good.
Okay. All right.
Mother's Day brunch at the VFW Post over off of Airport and Reynolds and
I know where
that
that
area
is.
and stuff. So that's a friend of mine. I'm at Peace Behringer, Floetically Divine. Look her up if you can.
I like
She's
her
an
too.
Awesome poet. Uncloistered Poetry. They had their online version, but I made the live version. Shout out to Joni, all of the features, everybody else that got to hear my final couple pieces of this stuff, which you guys will hear the last piece that I wrote until I probably go home and write the one on privacy. It's just sitting around in my head like, hey, we'll talk about this. But that's the stuff that happened. Mother's Day jams all around. So hopefully you made them. You already know, if you know me, my history with Mother's Day. Well, I don't talk about it, all that good stuff. Read a book.
That's right.
Get some art, maybe a hat, stuff. Anyway, upcoming this week, there's a couple of things going on, and I hope to see you. I really do.
What's that?
At some of this stuff. Not only do we have the garden party.
Absolutely. 4
Opening
o'clock
on Sunday.
300 block of Boston Place. You cannot miss us. All right.
Yep. On Wednesday again, I'm not sure. I've heard some whispers that they might do a hiatus for the open mic every Wednesday at Lucille's.
Okay.
With I think of the name at the moment, but the live band and everything, Lucille's Giant, the open mic, all it is 2 drink minimum. I'm gonna click on the button right now with DJ Sin and Wall. It's not wall music. There are a few musical bands in Toledo, but I want to make sure to get this right because they are awesome. They've been supportive of me the few times I've been there.
That's at Toll House, right?
That's at Toll House.
Is in Toll House.
Lucille is in Toll House.
I gotta go check that
1983,
out.
the band. Shout out to everybody over there,
All right.
the band and stuff like that. So going forward into the week, if you wanted to go out, do some stuff, it looks like good weather. Hopefully, again, you caught the Northern Lights. I was performing in it, so I didn't see it until I got home, and I was like, that's why that performance was good. But the big thing coming up before the weekend stuff is, again, there is a film casting at Hollywood Casino. It is 21. I checked again. Unfortunately, if you're 18, there are other castings going around for the same thing, but this one, since it is being filmed in a casino, I can see why they don't want to let you in and stuff like that. But we need over 1,000 people. Stress that again. Old people, young people, over 21, all that stuff to be a part of this film. This is the first major multi-million-dollar film coming to Toledo. By 20th Fox is unnamed, and it is paid. So if you want your IDBM, if you want to know what behind the scenes looks like, what on set, there are people that do this for a living. You see them in commercials and stuff, but you know, that's how they get their checks because you get paid.
That's right.
Like 1,000 or more so for a few days of sitting on set. And what else would you be doing for those that's unemployed and everything? Come out, show up. It is standing there or maybe waving your hands. You'll be blue shirt number 4.
That's
but
right.
Blue shirt number 4 still gets you a way into figuring out.
I got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. This will be my 8th film. Also, they are shooting for Superman 4. That's Cleveland, Cincinnati. Check out my page. Check out Film Toledo. Lillian, I cannot remember the last name, but they also do castings because we are Film City. We are going to get more deals. We have airport. We have trains. We have a whole shipping system. We have stuff other cities don't have, and Toledo's cheap.
All right.
No matter what you think around the world, Toledo's cheap to do stuff in. So they're going to start coming here to get their films off. And then this Sunday, we also have Cat Fest, which is the event that started me as an author. Wrote Tears of the Moon 1. Shout out to all of the organizers. This is the 9th year for that, where we decided that we wanted to come together for domestic violence for a friend, Kat Lambert, who lost her life to domestic violence. And artists and everything have been coming back together for 9 years.
What's up.
This year we're at R145, so if you can come out, support the artists.
That's right, downtown, isn't it? Or out Monroe?
I think that's out Monroe because Bar 145. There's a poker run, so there's going to be some bikers coming up earlier in the morning. You'll see me out there. I'm not vending this year. There's going to be some first. I may not be at Juneteenth. I may not be at things because of filming and scheduling, but I've been doing it for almost a decade now. So come out. Shout out to D Brown. Shout out to all of the artists involved. Ramona Collins, I saw, was on the ticket, and a whole bunch of other people. And then there is, and this is probably going to be my last one because I know we got to get to 5 minutes of heat before they start clicking the lights.
That's right.
there is the reinvest. Basically, it's why you want to vote. We do have a major election coming up. I am an elected official. I may not look like one. I may not sound like one, but because I'm still you. None of that has changed about me. It just gave me access to seeing where the grants are going. Shout out to Inglewood. They were meeting today 2 doors down. It was a very full room. I did not take photos. Again, I'm straying more away from that because it's more important I engage with people than social media, because it's becoming ad revenue and irritating me. I'm about to write a Kendrick track on that. But anyway, Reinvest Toledo is going to be at the EBID Center, which is Market on the Green, from 2 to 4 o'clock. So if you have a poem, if you have a short story about why you would, why you don't, even if you hate politicians,
I'm gonna check that out.
Come tell us.
Okay.
And then after that, you can come over to the garden, because garden is 4 to 6.
That's right.
So hope to see you out Sunday. It's gonna be a busy day for me. And yeah, let's get into this 5 minutes of heat.
All right, let me bring Julian back in. Hey, Julian, before we get down with 5 minutes of heat, was there anything that we left out when you were on before, brother?
Jody alluded to it, right? Sometimes, right, we may forget. Kendrick has made music for our movement, right? I will never forget "We Gonna Be All Right."
That's right.
Was chanted repeatedly at the Movement for Black Lives convening after it was over, as they were trying to arrest a teen, right? And through that chanting and through some bodily resistance, just put it that way, that teen was not arrested, right? And so our culture is so important, right? They want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues, right? As some say. And it's been a while, since there was a kind of a hip hop is our culture. Hip hop is our culture. And I was just very happy to see our culture so well defended.
That's right. Yes, sir.
It's been,
that was amazing. To see our culture so well defended, right? Because as we know, all skin folk and kinfolk, and there's layers, right? I feel like we could have a whole podcast about that, right? And the lessons that could be extrapolated from that work of art and back and forth. But I just wanted to publicly say that we gonna be all right. And there are aspects of the movement that are always moving, even when it's not visible, right? And so I was reminded of that, and I have a lot of gratitude for that. And lastly, just because I don't know if I'll have too many times where I'll have more pins on than Jody, I started wearing these mental health pins, right? And so I just wanted to show them off. I have one that says, "At least my trauma made me hilarious," right? And focus on the good. And we are what we believe we are, right? And so I got that to go along with my springtime bees, earplugs. And so I just wanted to say it's just great. There's been a lot of effort for me to try to get some of these technical issues worked out, and it's ongoing, but it's so great to be in community with you all and to stay connected.
That's right. All right. Hey, thank you, Julian. Before Jody gets in with 5 minutes of heat, if you like what we do on the screen, you can see that you can like, share, subscribe, and comment. We want you to log on to our not our Facebook. Well, you could do that too, but more of the YouTube. That's Community Solidarity, and the rest should drop down. Subscribe, hit the notification, so anytime we have the podcast on, you'll know in advance. We want you to pick up some Black Lives Matter signs. We've been placing them in strategic places around the city. We also been placing our defund the Toledo Police. It looks like they like those more, because I see more of our defund the police signs.
They just be disappearing.
Well, they're going to be reappearing once we get some more. All
Yeah.
right.
It's
I was
like
gonna say
sticker
something else.
season upon us.
Right.
You scratch one down, we bring two up.
Right. And also
That's
be
right.
on the lookout for our CSRN of Toledo yard signs. Those are still in the works. We're going to get some of those, maybe place those around so to grow interest, and then they can hit us up $15 a sign. Hey, that ain't gonna crack your head none. And also, if you like what we do, we'd like you to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, subscribe to us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and soon we're going to be tweeting more. I don't know if they call them X's, but it's still called tweets on X, formerly known as
I
Twitter.
just deleted the app.
All right, okay. I'm trying to pay some bills here. You're telling them to delete the app. I'm trying to tell them to get on the app, man. We're going to be
And I'll say there's a wonderful documentary on Hulu right now about Black Twitter that I highly recommend everybody checking out. And again, organizing and showing our power and our culture in a multitude of different ways.
Okay, how did Julian's voice get on my part? All right, how did that even happen? It also.
I told you I got my sound fixed. It took a minute.
Look, now we mad. Now we mad. I'll tell you, can't take black people nowhere. And also, if you like what we do, we'd like for you to assist us via Cash App. That's the hashtag CSRN 419 and the PayPal CSRN 419. Jody, I think that I hit all the things that we said we were going to do.
All the buttons except for the red one.
All right. And we only hit that one at the end, right?
Yeah. So,
see what you did there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know me, I do have very good opinions on stuff. Just we're not an opinion show. So if you want to know how I feel about the awesome animation and the YouTube, some of the creators that it's been brought back to life thanks to the beef, and hopefully it just stays beef, not any further, because it's only words. These are two millionaires. Hopefully all their families are safe. Hopefully their friends are safe. At the end of the day, we're not trying to see any Biggie Pac bloodshed in this. We're just being entertained right now. I mean, just like with Cat Williams and everything starting off this year, if you need to get it out, get it out. Just be, aware that the world is watching. The world's going to hold you accountable and all that's good stuff. I want to thank everybody also since last night, and I dropped I'm going to be one of the honorees. Shout out to Terry Crosby. That's another person that they announced was going to be one of the honorees for this year's 19th African American Festival. I keep a pin on the top of my page, which is most likely the last video I did or something. That way I know if you're actually seeing and coming to my page or just, seeing what's down your timeline. So I want to say thank you to the over 1,000, like 1,200 now, people that stopped in and actually got to listen to Blip.
Okay.
This piece is fitting because I did a back-to-back after I ended my 30 days of writing with what y'all heard last week was Deep Breath. I woke up that morning and it was like, nah, I ain't done yet. So this piece is called Not Sure. For those of you that haven't heard my intro and Willard on many more features, I'm an open book, yes, an open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words, yes, 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me. A lifetime, yes, a lifetime to those that can say they were part of my journey. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family. Because on this stage is where I share the most vulnerable, yes, vulnerable parts of myself. And I hope, yes, I hope that you hear me. So let's begin. Peace. Not sure yet. So close to success. At least that's what people tell me. All I know is I'm a lot further from failure than I've ever been in my life. So I'm just going to keep going. Just keep swimming, just keep flying, just keep running, because the things that are behind me are so massive. If I pause for Julie, that's what trying to judge me. So I'm just going to keep moving in this rotation that has provided me with some safe space. away from the massive black holes of regret, sorrow, and things, just things I can do nothing about. Guess it kind of sounds like a poem. Maybe I should make it one. In reality, this is the first words I speak into the world. Since there is no one here for me to communicate with eye to eye, I had to learn to say the things that truly meant something to me without wasting precious time. So maybe I will leave this as a poem, to have someone wondering throughout the depths of time what I was dreaming about and what brought these specific combinations of words out of my imagination to be public for the world. Some people will read this in my voice. In peace.
All right, and as always, we snap our fingers. All right. Dynamite, never disappoint, brother. Never disappoint. Hey, listen, we got to shut it on down. It is 7:28.
Yeah.
I think they closed at 7:27. All right. We may have to leave half our stuff here to get out of here. Hey, we want to thank our brother Carl Polk. We want to thank, what does that sound? Oh, it's Julian. We want to thank Carl. We want to thank
Eldris.
Yep. We want to thank Kingston. You almost made me break character. And we're looking forward for Carl to come back and share once again organized crime. If you're in the workplace, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And as always, all lives can't matter until what?
Black
lives
matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black
lives matter.
Justice or else.
Yeah.
Peace.